Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
It is picked off by the line. Darius Slay's got it. Coming back right side, 25. Picks up a block at the 30. Darius at the 40.
Drink it in, drink it in. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Rolls to the right. Stafford throws deep. Got a man out there. End zone. Caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Marvin Jones.
Drink it in, drink it in.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Cornbread.
Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, what's going on, everybody? Back here on a Friday, and I told you guys on Wednesday I was going to do kind of a different show. I was going to bring you something a little different. You know, normally it's me and Griff on here talking Lions football, joking around, doing some goofy stuff like that. Well, today I wanted to mix it up. So what I did is I reached out to some different people and said, you know, either leave me a message or give me a buzz and give me your general Lions talk. And I reached out to got people that I know like the team, people that aren't really fans, just trying to see what the temperature is out there from a bunch of different perspectives. I think you guys are really going to like what I came across. So we'll get to that here in a bit. I am recording late here on a Thursday night. I actually haven't watched the Lions game yet, so we'll get to that next week. And we just completed our Detroit Koolaid Fantasy Football League, and I'm not going to get too much into that because, like I said, the draft just ended, and I just finished a game for Pro Football Focus, so I was juggling a bunch of different things. It's all a whirlwind right now, but I'll definitely have an update on that draft. Probably do a separate pod just after I look over who took who, and it was pretty intense. 20 rounds, 20 teams, 20 players per team. So we were digging deep there at the end, but it was fun. Love hanging out with the fans, chatting, and talking football. And like I said, made it a deeper league because I wanted people to have to work for it when it comes to who you're drafting late, where your depth is, all that type of stuff. So it should be fun. But like I say, I'm recording late here, so let's go ahead and get to this. The first part of the pod here is going to be me chatting with the Big Hughes. Me and him caught up here earlier today, and we're just able to chop it up, get his takes on some things. He's obviously a busy dude, and we only have him on every once in a while, so I want to put him on and let him just sort of talk about the team. We have a little bit of fun. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. Detroit Koolaid, what's going on, everybody? Man, I said this show is going to be a little different, so I've called in some favors. I've called in some Lions fans, some Lions haters, a whole bunch of different people to kind of give some different takes, and you're definitely going to get my take as well. But very happy to have on the Big Hughes is in the building. He's helped us out a lot with the show, got it off the ground, ducks in from time to time, still juggling those brand new twins he has at home. But I got Hughes here on the line. Hughes, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, sir. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, man, super happy to have you. Hughes, I want to get you on. This will be kind of a short segment that we'll do, and I want to get your thoughts on the Lions, man. Nobody wants to hear about this fourth preseason game. It's an absolute waste of time. We all know that. But talk to the people about what you've seen, what you've liked, what you haven't liked, and kind of your expectations as we get, basically a week or a little over a week away from real football, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to say a few things before we jump into that now. I'm back in the studio for the first time in a long time, and looks like you've had your hands in a few pots. So we're both wrestling fans, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So you're familiar with a man by the name of Ric Flair, correct?
Woo!
Yes.
That's yes in Ric Flair language.
If Ric Flair was talking about Derek Oakley, this is what he would say. You ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Oh. Lions wire writing. Woo! Fantasy football podcast writing. Woo! PPFL analyst. Woo! There you go. Doing all sorts of things, buddy. Unbelievable. I can't believe how crazy.
Man. Oh, man. I absolutely
podcast into all these things.
I absolutely love that take. I mean, you didn't get limousine riding, kiss stealing in there. I do that as well. And I think you said PPLF. I mean, I think it's PFF, buddy. But yeah, it's all initials. It's all, well, you know.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got rather excited. So it's my first time on in a long time, so I'm a little nervous.
Flair's been known to get himself riled up and get red faced. So I love it, man. I appreciate that. I'm trying to do big things. Me and you have talked for years and years about trying to make football a career, or how fun it would be just to talk Lions, and here we are doing it, man. It's pretty fun, and the fans have just been awesome, kind of connecting with them. So absolutely, man. Thank you for that. Now, talk to me about our football team, man. We're super excited about this season here on the Koolaid Cast.
Yeah, I can't wait for the first game. I mean, tonight, obviously the last preseason game, I will probably watch 0 minutes of the game. Although I do want to tune in at the beginning to see where Matt Pat's going to stand now that he's on crutches. It's like the only offseason story that I've really been following with this team is what Matt Pat's riding these days. So
the guy needs a new spot. That whole Gatorade throne where he's half propped up on one knee leaning over is not good.
Yeah, and then the national broadcast, they try to do like this funny little thing about it and just end up being super stupid. It's just just let it be. But yeah, I have to assume that he's going to be up in the box at some point, whether he likes it or not. So anyway, yeah, man, I'm super pumped. Like you said, I've been busy with the Twins. We were actually able to get the Twins and take them out to one of the practices. So they got first glimpse of the Lions when we were out there. And it was super fun. And me and the wife went with the kids and, checked out the team.
Early, bro.
Yeah,
got to get them on early, no doubt. They'll be Lions fans for life, no question.
Oh, without question. So, yeah, I mean, I'm super pumped for this season. I think me and you have talked text messages back and forth a few times about, how in your fandom this might be the best roster, the most optimistic that the team has been. And, I'm starting to feel that way, too. I know at first I gave you pushback, but I'm starting to lean more towards that. Yeah, super pumped, man.
I definitely did say that, and I stick behind it. But I mean, again, you really just can't glean anything from preseason. Like when we were sitting here last year, we were thinking, we were ready to rock and roll. I was a little hesitant just because it was a new coach, new scheme, all that. But we had no idea what we were getting come that Monday night game, and it did not turn out the way we hoped. So, I just caution everybody, not only good, bad, and otherwise, but when they kick it off, I'd say the first 3-4 games, then we'll really know kind of our strengths and weaknesses. But, there's still definitely some wild cards out there. But like I say, I'm staying optimistic, and I just feel like, they haven't unleashed anything in regards to offense, defense, anything that we're actually going to see come real football.
Agreed. And just seeing Stafford out there last week got me fired up. I mean, I was firing off text to you like it was a little middle season game. I was getting all hyper for the first couple drives. It's been so boring the first 2 games. So to finally see, the team out there and him, firing the ball and CJ Anderson running like a beast, like just those couple drives just got me so pumped up. I can't wait for the Arizona game.
No doubt. Hey, Hughes, do you want to tell the people your great take on CJ Anderson? Because I think you've tweaked that a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So CJ Anderson, he's fat, but realistically, here's what I don't get. CJ Anderson, if you listen to this, I sure hope that you don't take this personally and you don't come and find me because you would probably choke slam me like Taylor Decker's going to do to Grifka. But I don't understand how a man that's so big has to constantly wear a sweatsuit. Like, are you trying to dump the water weight? Like, even in the game, he's out there. I feel like he's got a hood on under his jersey, a hoodie, zip up pants. I mean, you name it, he's got it out there. But yeah, I just assumed that he was a big fat man.
Do you want to know what wearing a gigantic, heavy sweatsuit in the middle of summer under your jersey? You want to know what that is?
Absolutely. Tell me.
It's a bad decision. Period. Point blank. It was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made.
Yeah. I think that's what he's telling himself after he does that. I don't know why he does that, but yes, he likes to rock the full parka sweatsuit for really no reason. But
yes.
Yeah, you ragged on him. I think he's going to be better than we expect, but I also don't want to see him getting the football a ton over 33. I mean, I want Carry-On featured. I want CJ to come in spots. I want him to know his role and do his thing, but not over the young buck that we got back there. I want to get him the football. So I just thought we'd get that in. Again, you've come around on my take of this team and of CJ Anderson, so that's a good thing. I mean, basically, like in Grifka world, you kind of, I don't know, agree. You agree?
No, I'm not going to.
You're not going to use the agree?
Nope. Sorry.
Okay. So, like you said, optimistic, looking forward to. I want to get your quick take on Arizona. I mean, we won't probably have you on before then. I mean, what are you expecting in that football game?
honestly, I'm expecting what the Jets did to us, but the other way around. Like realistically, just walking into the place and just taking over from the beginning. Even though we did do the pick six on the Jets, and then I just went downhill from there. But I mean,
Right.
Kyler Murray doesn't scare me. Their defense is terrible. Their offensive line sucks. I mean, David Johnson's David Johnson, but which David Johnson are we getting? Are we getting David Johnson from last year or David Johnson when he was everybody's first round fantasy pick in 2017? You don't know.
Right.
But there's just like nothing on that team that scares me. So I think we're just going to walk in and, if anything's going to hurt us, it's going to be ourselves with their stupid mistakes that we make. Always seems to happen, holding calls, defensive pass interferences, things like that. So as long as we keep that kind of stuff to a minimum, I think it's going to be an easy game for us.
Yeah, I like that take, man. Like you say, it's a good comparison, and I'll get more on it when we get to next week's shows. But my quick take on it is, I'm confident and nervous at the same time. I feel like, it's a game that's winnable. It's a game that, our team fully at, full staff, hopefully Big Frank's in the middle there. And don't know. I'm kind of assuming Jared Davis won't be around, but, that's a little bit of a hit on both sides of the football. But, I'm going in confident, and I'm also going in, on the other side of the ball, having no clue what the Cardinals are going to do. I feel like they're going to do a couple stupid gadget plays you don't see in normal NFL football, and hope that we're ready for them. I think that Kyler Murray is going to pose a few issues, just because even in the preseason when I watched him, he kind of, people will get pressure on him, but he's just fast enough and small enough to get away. And you know how that goes for us. When we can't get a guy to the ground, he scrambles and somebody breaks free, and some big plays have been known to happen. So, I mean, if we can curtail that and we can get him on the ground, no big issues. And, the run stuffing is going to be there. So, I'm with you. I think it could be a good, nice victory for the team, but I also think that they're really going to have to not only be prepared, but know that this isn't just a team that you've seen 20 other times on tape. This is, figure it out once the kickoff happens type of game.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a big game for our linebackers because, I have to assume that they're going to keep the quarterback drop back pretty quick to get the ball out of his hands quick. If he's scrambling around back there, he's probably going to dump it off the tight ends or running back. So I think it's going to be a big game for, Giovanni Tavai and, Christian Jones. And like you said, Davis probably isn't going to be playing. And, Kennard hopefully is going to be rushing the passer. But I think it's going to be a big game for those guys, making sure they're, staying where they need to stay and not letting those little lanes get open.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the Cardinals are going to spread you out. They drafted all those receivers. Yeah. Hakeem Butler got hurt, but they're still going to put 4 or 5 wide receivers on the field. Who are those other couple corners that are going to be able to hang? And like me and Grifka saw at camp, like you really do not want Jelani Tavai manned up against somebody in a slot trying to cover. But I like what I've seen from the kid otherwise. But they're really just going to have to figure out how to match up with personnel and whatnot. So, yeah, good stuff, man. We'll definitely get into it more as we get going. But just want to get your quick take on it. So Hughes, we said this would be a quick segment. We know you got stuff going on. We're going to mix some other people in here as well on this show. But before you go, man, we have the Detroit Koolaid Cast Listener Fantasy League. Me and you are in about 20 fantasy leagues apiece. We tell ourselves every year we're only going to do a handful or less, and it always blows up. But this is a fun one to have you in. We've got Chuck in from the Fantasy Football Flavor, and we got a whole bunch of listeners and fans of the show and fans of the Lions. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. You know what I'm looking forward to the most? That's being up at the top of the standings where I normally am. You know this.
To be the man! You've got to beat the man!
There's a little Ric Flair for you. Woo! Woo! You can look for me at the top, bro. Where will you be? Kind of towards the bottom? I mean...
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, at first I thought, well...
Struggling.
I'll just kind of have some fun with this, and no big deal. Like I said, we got 9 other leagues going on, but soon today's draft day, or we're recording. This is Thursday afternoon for tomorrow, so my juices are flowing now. I can't wait to just beat you. So I could go 2 and whatever, and as long as
if you go 2 and whatever, you're not gonna beat me. I mean, that's obvious.
Draft board tonight, drafting my players, making fun of every single person that you draft. And for all the listeners out there. Team Conrad is my team because that guy is probably the best thing that ever happened to the DKC. So.
Oh my gosh. Like you say, a tribute to your boy. I know you always enjoy his calls and think, that's top entertainment. I mean, I think I'm entertaining. I think me, Goofy Nine Grifka's entertaining, and Grifka's takes on football are entertaining. So, I mean, like you say, it makes it good for a good show. But yep, I'll be the fantasy football flavor up there in that draft. And like you say, just looking forward to having fun with everybody. It's definitely more of a thing just for the fans and to enjoy more so than some of our other leagues, which are real cutthroat, and those should be fun as well. But yeah, man, always enjoy fantasy football. It's that time of year. And Hughes, before you get out of here, we have got to get a Detroit Koolaid podcast. Hold on.
Drink it in, man.
Prediction. We need a season prediction, a win-loss record from the big show. Matt Hughes here on the podcast. Yeah. What do you got, buddy? This is going to live in infamy, so make it good.
So I hate doing these things because I want the Lions to win every single game. So in my mind,
cornbread.
Exactly, it should be 16-0. But if this is going to be on the record and we're looking at realistics, it's not going to be a fan favorite.
Here we go.
But I'm going 9-7.
Oh, that's weak sauce, Hughes.
Hey, I could be like Grifsky and go 12-4, and then the first Stafford interception just go ballistic, and then get my waffle iron plugged in and start making some waffle. I mean, I could do that, but if we're gonna be on, if this is legit, because I want to go 16-0, but I'm thinking 9-7. That'll get us in the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Now you just pulled a classic Grifka. You said 9-7 so that you're low expectations. Then you pumped it up of like maybe they'll be good. So now like anything that happens is pretty much okay.
No, that's not necessarily.
Okay, hold on. Say that prediction 9-7 one more time because I got a little something for you.
Sure. 9-7.
That's not a good call. No. You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
Hughes, that is not a good call. That is one of your worst calls of all time. This is a guy you've never started less than 10. Now, when we got a good football team, young, hungry Lions, pun intended, you're going to go with 9 like all these other jabrones out there that hate on the Lions, and then all of a sudden when they're good, they're waving the flag, they got the T-shirts. I think that's weak sauce by you. This is a good football team. What was I at, 12-4? I'm not moving off that. I mean, this team's going to get it together. They're going to weather the storm here early in the schedule and get it done. So you're 9-7. I mean, you're usually wrong, so I feel good about it. But geez,
you know what? Here's the thing: if they end up being 12-4, I'll be just as happy. If they're 9-7, then I'm right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm happy about it.
And you know why Hughes won't be happy when they win? It's because of this.
I love the Lions. Say it with me. I love the Lions.
Hey. That's what it comes down to. You took me to my first Lions game, bro. Me, you, and your dad. The first big Hughes. From then, I just sort of grew my fandom. Here I am years later, just draft board. Drawn, like you say, PFF watching, Lions wire writing, guy over here just trying to have fun on the podcast. So tremendous.
Best thing about that game, one, I believe we played Arizona that day. It was Palmer. Second thing is the dude behind you went all hot pretzel mustard all down your back. I think you were rocking my throwback Spielman jersey that day, and it was just got full of mustard.
Right. I go, Hughes, man, I need a jersey. Even back then, I was an infant in the jersey game. I was like, I need a jersey, bro. You give me the Spielman. We're having fun at the game. Barry's out there doing some things. And then all of a sudden, drunk guy behind me dumps a pretzel full of mustard right on the jersey. And then what do you do after the game? You're like, hey, Oker, you can keep that jersey, man. I was like, oh, thank you, buddy. Great, tremendous. But that started it all, man. So here we are. So tremendous. I'm just hyped, as I know you are. I'll probably get a voicemail the day before on game day there. Usually pub me up with something hilarious, and I think your record will change before we get to that game in Arizona. So I'm super excited, man. Thanks for coming on the show and hanging out with me. And like you say, we'll have to spot you on during the season, as well as listen to this show, man, and hear all these other Lions fans' takes. It's all over the board with this team this year.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you bringing me on, and keep doing your thing, buddy.
No doubt, man. Take care, Hughes. We'll talk to you later.
Yep, see ya.
So everybody, that was my talk with Hughes. Got his Lions takes, got his thoughts on Week 1 against Arizona, just kind of where he's at with the team. So that was good. So what I'm going to do right now is I didn't have this planned, but it kind of hit me as I was clipping this together and putting his call together. I was like, let me end this segment with a custom Caruso for Hughes. So I got to set it up here for 1 second. So back in the day, back in high school and college when I knew Hughes, we dubbed him the Big Show. For many funny reasons back in high school and whatnot, the Big Show was always his name. And another thing about the Caruso that's funny is, so like when I do him for Griffka on the show, I always go, well, Griff. But people have been hitting me up on Twitter, and like the way that I always heard him done was they would go, well, Frank. And it's funny because Frank Ribble's always pubbing our show, so it's kind of a nod to him as well. So I'm going to hit this Caruso, I'm going to hit the music, and we'll go right to break. And then when we come back, we're going to hear from all these folks that called up with their Lions takes. I'm going to play those. I'm going to react to some of them. Like I said, recording here super late on a Thursday. So let's see if I can do this. Well, Frank, I guess you could say having Hughes on the podcast made it a big show. All right, everybody, we're back. Let me get into this. I'm not going to waste any time. We don't mess around here on the Koolaid Cast. So, again, reached out to people, had people call, friends, family, different things, encouraged all the Kool-Aid drinkers to call that listener line. Had to pick out a few. Kind of picked out most of my friends and people that called, just give them some dap. So wanted to play those calls, wanted to kind of reward those guys for calling. And the funniest part was like all these people that I know and just funniest people and do these goofy things. Like anytime you tell them to like do something on the pod or like talk about the Lions or whatever, they just like, they don't have anything to say or they don't have time. And it's like, so I was happy to get a few of the people that I got. But like I say, let's not mess around. First call here. It's my buddy Stefan, man. I met this dude a long time ago. We were in a church softball league. Actually, I walked up and there's this dude in the outfield and I got chatting with him. He's been a good buddy ever since. We were snagging everything that hit the outfield that year in softball, and just a really good dude all the way around. So Stefan, got him to call in, and I really liked his take, so I'm going to go ahead and play it for you, and then I'll have my reactions after. So this is Stefan giving his take on the Lions.
All right, my man, Derek, it's Stefan. Listen, man, loving the podcast, loving drinking the Detroit Kool-Aid all day, every day. I've been thinking about this Lions schedule, man, over and over in my head all day at work, just trying to figure out what I think. Man, we're going 11-5. Sorry, 11-5. Hot take, what are you going to call it? 11-5, baby. I'm kidding. Unfortunately, I wish I wasn't. But, man, we got to be real, man. The Detroit Lions, kings of mediocrity. It's tough to say, man. Last 5 or 6 years, we're a 500 ball club. Nothing more, nothing less. We do have about 11 winnable games. So we have that going for us. Anything can happen. We're facing a pretty banged up Chargers team. Starting safety out, left tackle out, Melvin Gordon, star running back, out, Keenan Allen, best wide receiver in the squad, he's out. Phillip Rivers is going against the top 5 D line. We got that going for us, but we'll see what happens. We're facing Vikings twice this year. Man, they need a huge bounce back here. A lot of injury concerns, a lot of depth concerns. Friggin', what's his name? Kirk freaking Cousins, dude. Goodness gracious. And we can't beat him at least once. It's a joke, man. Packers got Aaron Rodgers, an ankle sprain, a diva moment, a new coach meltdown, one little thing away from being absolute, bottom dwellers of the league. We're facing a Raiders team. Nothing but drama, chaos. Same goes with the Cowboys, man. Disgruntled star running back, overrated quarterback, in a contract dispute as well. Let Zeke sit out long enough. He'll take care of it himself. He'll go back to the principal's office. Who knows what the Cowboys are going to look like. Cardinals, Redskins, Jets, Bucks, all jokes. We should win all those games. We're facing Denver towards the end of the season. How the heck is Joe Flacco going to hold up? Yeah, he's their savior, apparently. He better not be. It's ridiculous. So we got all these winnable games. But despite all that, I'm thinking we barely squeak out 9-7. Same old Lions. I hate to say it. Matty P, he gives ownership just enough though. Sell some false hope, sell some progress and growth to the fans. I wish the Patriot way would rub off. Hoping it does until I see it. Again, 9-7, kind of a boring take. I mean, a boring average draft pick. No real change in the off season, I'm assuming. So we'll see, man. We'll see. With that being said, Urban Meyer is gone, so go blue. Every day, all day, baby. Go blue.
All right, everybody. So that was Stefan. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty good call. You could tell he scribbled out the schedule on a little notepad right in front of him, was working his way through that. Stefan's a good dude, man. He knows his sports. I can't say he's 300% locked in, but he knows his stuff. He's a soccer player, so I won't hold that against him. Well, yeah, I will. I hold that against him all the time. But he loves Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, all that type of stuff. So, like I said, he kind of worked his way through it. He set everybody up for a big 11-5, and then knocked you down, telling you that the Lions never win, which is an old take. Everybody says that, and like living in the past with all that garbage. And then he worked his way through that they should beat teams that they probably won't, and Matt Patricia will give them enough, but won't be false hope, I think he called it, which was another terrible take in that call. But overall, I liked it. I mean, you're going to see with some of these, like, Steph and I started him off because I thought it was a decently well-rounded call. He had some decent takes on the team, as well as just some kind of predictions mixed in there, as well as he's a realistic guy. He always low bars it a little bit, so I thought that was good. Now this next call, this is my buddy Wagner. Wagner's been a buddy of mine back since high school as well, and into college days. I don't know what's happened with Wagner. He's left me some crazy voicemails back in the day when the Pistons were winning championships and all this, but I don't know if the guy was in a library today or if he's picked up the Bill Belichick voice, where it sounds a little like this, where I'm not good on snap face. I don't know. That's my best Bill Belichick / Wagner impression on this call. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if he's in a wind tunnel as well in the beginning of this call. But like I said, I know that he loves the team. He isn't a diehard, but if the Lions are winning, Nick Wagner's going to be the first one in line at the parade. There's no doubt about it, and I give him grief about that all the time. So let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say, and then I'll probably beat him up a little bit more after we hear his call. So here he is.
Oh, great. This is Nick, leaving a message for my big Detroit Lions prediction for the 2019 season. I think this is the year that Stafford breaks out again after a decade-long drought and becomes the number one pick that we know and love. Lions go 9-7, and we get a first round playoff win and get taken seriously. Patricia gets held up, carried off the field, and his pencil behind the ear gets snapped, but nobody cares because for the first time in our lifetime, it's a successful season. Breakout picks of the year, my man Carry-On goes over 1,000 rushing this year. And I got my man Kenny Galladay making his first Pro Bowl appearance. Chalk it up. That's it for now. 9-7. Later.
Oh my gosh, I had to put it on mute during that call because Wagner, I got a couple issues, man. You've went robotic in your old days. I mean, bring the thunder, man. Give me a little something. But I don't know if that was some tremendous punchline you thought you had there with the breaking of the pencil. I mean, that was brutal, bro. But overall, I mean, I like your takes about Carry-On. I think I've been preaching for a while that Kenny Galladay is going to be unleashed and blow up. It sounded like you were optimistic, talking about something about them carrying Patricia off, but then you rounded back into Wagner form at the end, just going with a bland, robotic 9-7. So where's your guts, man? Come on. Like I say, Wagner, tempers, hates on the team. When the team's good, he's all over it. He knows that. Everybody knows that. That knows Wagner, and I know that. So appreciate him calling, though. He said he's going to call back during the year and when there's some actual football to react to, and I hope he turns the clock back about 15 years and brings some heat next time and stays out of the wind. What's going on, Detroit Koolaid listeners? By now, most of you have probably heard of Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners get to build and manage their fantasy team just like an NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? It's time to go see what all the buzz in the Dynasty community is all about. I'm talking free agency, multi-year contracts, a rookie draft, multi-team trades, franchise tags, contract extensions, first-round rookie options, automated contract and salary cap functionality, and much, much more. Think it sounds complicated? It's not. The best thing about Reality Sports Online Fantasy Front Office is it doesn't take any more time than a standard league. It just requires more strategy. Think you're among the fantasy elite? Well, this is the platform to test your mettle. Still not sure? You can test out your general manager skills for free in a mock free agency auction. If you like what you see, use promo code Koolaid, one word lowercase, promo code Koolaid, to receive a 10% discount on your team or league today. Fantasy just got real at realitysportsonline.com. All right, so let's get two more in here. This was a call I listened to. I'm kind of like, man, who's that? Kind of took a unique approach right off the top. I thought they were going to read some long dramatic poem about the Lions, but this ends up being my Aunt Jode. A sports fan, not a huge football fan though, and always nice enough to her and my Uncle Don. They buy tickets to my Lions, out of my Lions season tickets, and go every year. Just kind of enjoy the game. They're that cool group. Couple that likes to kind of go downtown, find a cool restaurant, have a couple brewskis, and enjoy a night out, a game, concert, whatever it may be. So let's take a quick listen to my Aunt Jode. Very short take, but she was nice enough to call in and kind of leave this about the Lions.
Lions, the team we love to hate, and the team we hate to love. Lions and Tigers and Red Wings, oh my.
Now, my favorite thing about that call is the phone slam at the end. It started out so lovely. Like I said, it was going to be roses are red, violets are blue, some kind of tremendous Lions thing at the end that rhymed. And then all of a sudden it turned into something different with a phone slam at the end, which I thought was tremendous. It was kind of like, I've got literally, 15, 20 seconds to deal with this to help Derek out and to add to his podcast. So I'll do that and then I'll slam the phone, which I thought was awesome. Aunt Jode, love you. That was tremendous. Like I say, totally true. It is the team that we love and love to hate. And, instead of, oh my, we could have got a, one of these in.
Wow.
Lions and Tigers and Bears and Red Wings. Wait, not Bears. Lions and Tigers and Red Wings.
Wow.
Aunt Jode, I know you don't know what that is, but the people know, and it's funny to me at least. So let's go ahead. We're gonna get my Uncle Eric in here. When I kind of said, hey, would you shout out a call? This is like one of the funniest dudes ever. I mean, when you meet him, he's just like, everything he says is funny. He's got incredible energy. He's got one of the biggest hearts I know. Just will do anything for family and for people. But the funny part was, so when I asked him to call, I know he doesn't love football, but I'm like, just call up and be you. Just be funny and say some tremendous things. It'll be great for the show. And what I love about the call is he's not only like so nervous and different, but he tried to actually like sort of read up on the team and give some kind of analytical approach to this Browns Lions game, which makes it even funnier. But he does end it with a great catchphrase of his that I'm sure we'll have on the soundboard. So let's go ahead and take a listen to my Uncle Eric, my Uncle E, right now.
Kool-Aid, what is up? This is Uncle E from Mr. D. Hey, I'm talking about the Detroit Lions versus the Cleveland Browns. What do you got? No starters. Come on, Tease. What'd you get? A blow to the head? We got a 53-man roster. looking for vying for positions, no starters. So what up with that? And folks, don't come on. We got to make a backup receiver out of you. We got 2 backup QBs looking for something. Josh Jeremiah Johnson, Tom Savage, the good gun. Also with Louis Perez, he ain't got a nickname yet, so we just call him Beat Squad. Come on, girl, we got to take it to Cleveland. We got to take it to Cleveland. They ain't nothing. Come on, they ain't nothing. And all we got to do is we got offense. Who's going to run our line? We got the QB jobs. We got Tees. Is he going to show up with that no-show and to the head blow? We got O-line play. And what's our special teams going to happen? Mr. D, we'll see you.
Oh my goodness, everybody. So that was my Uncle Eric. And the funniest part, like I said, it's so different than what he normally is. I don't know what he went into there, some kind of country twang. I mean, the guy spent some years in Oklahoma, but I don't know what that accent was or what what he was doing. It did make me laugh, sort of, though. And what I want the people to do is, like, you know how, like, in the courtrooms, they always have that lady that types out everything to make sure it's exact? I would love an exact transcript of what that was. Like, I don't know what half that was that he said, but it did make me sort of laugh. And the funniest part too is that I know my Uncle E probably just grabbed the local Free Press or Detroit News or something, read through the sports section, picked out 3 things, and tried to tie it together into a funny call that he thought would sound halfway decent, like he knew about the team. And I said, you should just call up and say how you hate football, even though you played football when you were younger, and we know you're a hockey guy, so you should have just said that. But he did get the "we'll see ya" at the end, which, like I say, I'm gonna have to fix that audio and make that a sound drop, because that's a tremendous line by my Uncle Eric, just classic of his. So two funny calls. I want to make sure to get them in, and thank you guys so much for taking the time out of our busy days to make a call to the Detroit Koolaid Cast. See, people, it's not that hard. You don't have to be a fan. You don't have to talk for 20 minutes, 3 minutes. You could talk for 20 seconds like my Aunt Joe did, or for a couple minutes like my Uncle E did, make me laugh, and I might find a way to get you on the show. So thank you both so much. Appreciate it. Good stuff. All right, so we had 2 decent calls off the top, just football calls, 9 and 7, same thing you hear all over the place. We had 2 calls, my Aunt Joe to my Uncle E, not huge football fans, but definitely had to get them in because they took the time to make a phone call and had unique approach at both of those. But now we're getting to my Uncle Dean. This is my Uncle Dean, and my Uncle Dean, everybody's heard me on the podcast say, you know why I hate going to family Thanksgiving? It's because all my uncles and aunts do is sit around, and when I'm trying to watch the game and enjoy some turkey, they're just ragging on the team. They pretend that they like it, but really they just laugh at the Lions. They've seen all this losing by the Lions, so how could the Lions ever win? Because all they've done is lose. That's all they say. My Uncle Dean, I don't know what his issue is. He's a big Red Wings guy. And over these years, he just likes to needle me about the Lions. So he threw out something on Twitter, which was like 4 wins. And I was like, you got to call up and say why. Don't just bring that weak sauce on a quick take with 4 wins. So he thought about it. He pondered it. And then he came up with this, which I'm sure he thinks is a tremendous gem of a call. And I'll react to it afterwards.
Yeah, I hope the Lions this year could be honest with each other and honest with themselves and admit this.
I have stunk. You have stunk. He has stunk. We have stunk. You have stunk. They have stunk.
I hope they can look at the person to their left, the player to their right, player across the line from themselves, and I hope that they can say this.
I stank. You stank. He stank. We stank. You stank. They stank.
Go Lions.
Uncle Dean, where do I start with this call? I guess I start asking, did you have that saved on a floppy disk? Was that Microsoft DOS that you created that tremendous production value and those amazing special effects? What was that? I have no idea what that was. I think it said, we stunk, I stunk, you... Okay, we get it. Like, that's your take on the Lions. Like, tremendous, hilarious. Like, I think we'll be the ones laughing at you when this team plays some incredible football everybody can be proud of. They're putting up W's. I don't know what you're going to say then. Maybe you'll actually move it up from Microsoft DOS to some type of, 16-bit, humor at that point and give them some actual credit. But like I say, respect to my uncle for calling in. I didn't think he'd do it. He backed up his take that he thinks the Lions are going to be terrible again. And we'll see what happens. Like, there's a definite chance that it could be another tough year, but I'm not expecting that. Lots of other people are. So, again, it's sort of an easy take. Just say they're going to be bad and know that you kind of root for them because they're a hometown team. So, Uncle Dean, glad you called in. And then I'm also not glad that you called with a call like that and sound effects like that. So, what I'm going to do after that call is pick us up with a much better call. And this is a call that a lot of you are going to love. This is a guy you've heard on the podcast before. He always brings the heat. He always brings the thunder. And he's called back in again. This is good old Conrad from Huntsville, Alabama. You know who he is. You know what it be, and it be this.
Roll Tide, baby.
You know he brings that. You know he brings all types of other good catchphrases when he calls. Let's see what he has to say. Conrad, let's hear it, buddy.
Hey, it's Conrad down in Huntsville, Alabama. Roll Tide, baby. So it's been a little bit of time since I called in to talk to the old waffle maker himself, Mr. Grisky. Let me tell you something here, Okra. I'm so tired of that damn wow machine you got going on down there in old Michigan. Did you know that wow upside down spells mom? So every time you do wow, I do mom, wow, mom, wow, mom. It's stupid. Just like Gripsky and his 12 and 4, and they suck in the preseason. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna break my table. You all guys are crazy, man. But out here in old Alabama, we good. 'Cause we roll Tide, baby. Out.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's for you, Conrad. Wow on that call. Obviously, I had to be mute on that call because some other classic lines, some classic throwbacks from Conrad. I don't even know. Did he even have a Lions take? I mean, he basically just called me Okra again, which, again, that's not my name. You can hit me up, though, on Twitter at Derek Okrie, Derek, Okrie. And he took a run at Grifsky, which is always tremendous. He made fun of the wow sound. I don't know. Maybe he has mother issues or something. And I don't know. He said roll tide a couple times, and then he got out. So, again, not much of a Lions take, but still pretty humorous. So, Conrad, appreciate it as always. Let's keep this thing moving. The next call, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to change this up. Let's go ahead and this is my buddy Jake. Jake's a tremendous musician. He's not a huge sports guy. I reached out to him. He's one of the guys that manned up and actually made a phone call. And don't really know what he was going for here, but I think he's going in character. And again, another person taking a shot at the Lions. So let's take a quick listen.
Hey, this is Chad, head coach of the official Lions high school junior varsity practice team. Our slogan has been, hey, we'll be better next year. We've got the talent since 1958. We're thinking about changing it to something like Patriots B team. Let us know what you think.
So Jake, quick to the point, a couple cheap shots there at the Lions, a couple callbacks to how long it's been since they've won. And then, like I said, he got in and he got out. So Jake, appreciate it. Next time, bring a little more heat, a little more thunder. But like I said, I appreciate it. I can appreciate the character and the innuendo in that call. But thank you, buddy. And let's go ahead and leave this one for last. This was my buddy Jay Ilson, the one and only, just an absolute legend when it comes to lived with this guy in college. I mean, one of the best dudes I know. Every time I see this guy, he's just tremendous. He's always been such a good buddy to me. Everybody that's anybody knows who Jay Will is. He's cool with everybody. He's the coolest dude in the room. Super fun. And again, unfortunately, this guy is pretty checked out of Detroit Lions football. He didn't know what to say, didn't know want to make a call. I said, call up and be you and do what you do. And he did absolutely that. It's tremendous. But as you'll hear on his call, another soccer player, which, again, I don't know why I'm buddies with these people that play that horrible game of soccer, but he hits on that, as well as again, he's not going to take any big deep dives here on the Lions, but he does what he does what he can here on this call. So let's go ahead and listen to see what Jay Willie has to say. Again, coolest man I know, a great buddy of mine. So let's go ahead and get him in here right now.
Well, would you looky here? Just by me calling in, I'm sure that my voicemail will be played. It's the one and only Mr. Jay Willie, Mr. Flint Town himself, Mr. AKA, always get it on and popping. First and foremost, congrats on the podcast. I tune in here and there, and it's pretty exciting, even though I don't watch football. I haven't watched the Detroit Lions since we had Sweet Feet Barry in the backfield. However, if the Lions want to do better, they better find somebody with a Flint-style personality, with a mind like Jay Will, a heart like Jay Will, and a soul like Jay Will, if you understand where I'm coming from. However, what I do is spend my Saturday mornings watching EPL, the English Premier League, tuning in to Chelsea, FC, and Manchester United, the real football. The real football. Speaking of which, why do we call it football? Only one person gets to touch the ball with their feet, and that's the kicker, which we know that's not a serious position, right? Anywho, Derek Oakley, proud of you. Hope all is well. And if you want Jay Will to tune in, you might have to pay me. Congrats, cheers, and I'll holler at you.
All right, Ilson. Well, I pumped you up as this great dude, super cool, and then I listened to your call again right there. Man, I got some issues with that call. First of all, you came out the gate smooth, trying to be, cool as a cucumber, Flint Town's finest. But then you like self-glossed yourself about 3-4 times where you said they need to act like Jay Will and they be like Jay Will. Like, first, who does that? First of all, we don't want any players like Jay Will or have knees like Jay Will or speed like Jay Will or a fadeaway if they were playing basketball like Jay Will. So let's start with there. You had double knee replacements. You've lost a step or 3, and we don't want that. But like I said, you went and you talked about soccer. I mean, okay, you can call it football if you want, but we know one sport's for men, another sport is for people that can run around on this huge field and try to kick this little ball into a net, which they never hit. So we know what's going on there, man. But you gave some love to the podcast. I appreciate that. You said something about never watching Detroit Lions since Sweet Feet Barry. I don't know if you're getting Alzheimer's as well, but before you got married and had a few kids there, bro, me and you hit up a few Lions games, me and you down there at Turkey Day, enjoying a tailgate, having fun with the people, laughing, having signs, grilling up food. So that must have just slipped your mind because we had some good memories there, man. Like I say, you're a great buddy of mine. I really thank you for calling up and adding that to the show. So with all that, let me go ahead and close up this show. I know there were some other people that called in. I just tried to get as many as I could before we went live here. And like I said, Lions fans, throughout this season, I really want you guys to call up. I want you to be funny. I want you to add something to the show. I want you to bring the heat. I want you to call up. It does not hurt to call up. If you mess up, call back again. If you call up and want to just rant and rave, go ahead. If you want to call up and be your favorite character and try to be funny, we love that. If you want to call up and call back to things that me and Griff could do on a weekly basis on the show, we love that. Everything is fair game on the listener line, 989-272-3484. Call it up before or after games. Anytime you got to take on the Lions, when they sign somebody, when somebody gets traded or cut, we want to hear from you. We'll try our best to get as many as we can on the show, and we just absolutely love it. This is a show for the fans, by a couple fans, and we just want to do that and drink that Detroit Kool-Aid all day. So thank you, everybody. It's super late here. I'm going to go ahead and get out, and hope you guys enjoy this different episode. So take care, everybody. Drink it in. We'll catch you next week right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.